Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, there's this really specific feeling in the music industry that I think everyone is like secretly addicted to. It's not the hit song, it's not the sold out tour, it's the silence right before the storm.
Oh yeah, the anticipation. It's almost more powerful than the debut itself because your imagination is doing all the work.
Exactly. And today we're pointing our flashlight right into one of those mysterious corners. We are talking about the upcoming trainee girl group from Onesie Entertainment. Now, if you follow P-pop or really just the music business at all, you've probably noticed the chatter, or maybe the lack of chatter. It feels like Onesie is guarding this project like a state secret.
Which, in this age of leaks and constant content, is honestly an achievement in itself.
Seriously. But we aren't just here to, speculate. We've actually got some really solid insights. We're looking at a source called the Onesie Entertainment Girl Group, Artistry and Ambition.
And it includes some very telling quotes from Gallahan East,
the marketing communications manager at Onesie.
Right. So this isn't just gossip. This is coming straight from inside the house. It's the strategy.
And that's our mission today. We want to unpack this. Limited but really powerful information. We need to figure out what fresh faces actually means here.
And decode some of the high-stakes comparisons they're making.
And honestly, talk about why, despite all the mystery, the future for this groove looks insanely positive.
There is a lot to chew on. On the surface, you might read it and think, okay, standard PR talk. But when you connect the dots, it paints a picture of a strategy that's actually quite risky.
Risky. Okay, I like risky. Let's get into it. The first big thing we have to talk about is the lineup, or, well, the nature of the lineup.
Right. The source makes a very, very specific point to call these trainees completely fresh faces. Fresh faces.
Okay, let me just play devil's advocate for a second. In the marketing world, doesn't fresh faces sometimes just mean amateurs? Or, we couldn't get anyone famous?
That's the cynical take, sure. But look at the context. It specifies they have no prior exposure.
And no industry baggage.
Exactly. No industry baggage. And we have to just pause on that for a second because that is so rare right now.
It really is.
I mean, think about it. What is the standard formula for launching a new group in 2026?
Oh, it's the survival show pipeline. You take a bunch of kids who've already been on 3 other shows, put them on TV, and you pick the ones who already have a fan base.
Precisely. It's all about risk mitigation. Agencies love what you might call recycled talent because they come with a built-in customer base.
It's a safety net. You're not starting from zero.
But Onesie is looking at that safety net and saying, no thanks. By going for no industry baggage, they are actively throwing away that easy head start.
So why would a business do that? It just seems inefficient.
Because baggage is heavy. When you bring in someone who's been through the system, they come with old habits, maybe some jadedness.
And a public story you can't control. Like, oh, that's the girl who got cut from that other show.
Right. You're watching them try to redeem a career instead of starting one. Onesie wants a blank canvas. They want purity. And there's a quote here from Gallahan East that I think is the emotional anchor for this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's in Tagalog. Gallahan said, "Puhunan talaga nila ay yung mga pangarap nila."
Which means their real investment is their dreams.
It sounds poetic.
That hits hard. I mean, it sounds great on a poster, but what does that actually mean for the group's dynamic?
It changes the entire motivation engine. If your investment is your dream, it implies a kind of hunger that's raw, unpolished.
You're not doing it because it's a job you know how to do.
You're doing it because it's the only thing you can do. It's that day one energy.
Right.
When you have industry vets, the vibe is professionalism, execution. But with fresh faces fueled by dreams, the vibe is discovery, desperation even. And I mean that in a good creative way. They have everything to prove.
That's so true. There's something really magnetic about watching someone discover themselves in real time. If Onesie plays this right, we don't just become fans of their music.
We become witnesses to their growth.
And that creates a much deeper bond than just like voting for someone on a reality show.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have these fresh faces, zero baggage, running purely on dream fuel. It sounds romantic, but dreams don't always equal skill, right?
And that is the crucial tension. Which brings us to the second pillar of this whole thing, the process.
Ah, the process. The source says Onesie is being very intentional with the process, which I assume is corporate speak for, we're taking our sweet time.
It is. But look at the benchmark they've set for themselves. This is the part that made my eyebrows just shoot up.
Yeah.
The source says the goal is for this group to stand at the same caliber as SB19.
Okay. Hold on. Let's just stop everything for a second.
Yeah.
That is a massive statement.
It's a bold, bold declaration.
For anyone who might be just a casual listener, can we just define what SB19 caliber actually means? Because it's not just about being popular.
No, it's not a metric of fame. It is a metric of capability. SB19 isn't just the biggest P-pop group. They basically built the modern standard for performance in the entire region.
We're talking about perfect live vocals while doing insane choreography.
We're talking synchronization, stamina, stage presence that can command a stadium. SB19 spent years in a training hell to get to a point where they could perform anywhere, anytime, with zero mistakes.
So when Onesie says, we want these fresh-faced girls to be SB19 caliber, they're not saying they hope they get a lot of likes on TikTok.
No, they're saying we are not letting them out of the training room until they are absolutely bulletproof.
Okay, that explains the intentional process. You can't just microwave that kind of skill.
You really can't.
Yeah.
And it's such a sharp contrast to the fresh faces point. Usually with rookies, the public cuts them some slack, right? Oh, they're cute, they'll get better.
The rookie pass.
Yeah, and Onesie is basically tearing up the rookie pass before they even debut. They're saying, yes, they're new, but the standard is veteran elite.
That is terrifying pressure. Imagine being a teenager, nobody knows who you are, and your boss is like, by the way, the standard is the kings of P-pop. Good luck.
It's immense. But it also shows a huge amount of respect for the trainees. It says, we believe you're capable of this. It signals they aren't trying to create a quick viral cash grab. They're trying to build a powerhouse.
It definitely builds trust from my perspective. If they're using SB19 as the yardstick, I know I'm not going to get something half-baked.
And it suggests a continuity of culture for Onesie.
Mm-hmm.
They can't afford to dilute their own brand with a mediocre debut. They have to come out swinging.
Okay, so the hunger of fresh dreamers, the discipline of elite athletes, that's already a very strong combo. But then there's the third thing, the big hint.
This is the real game changer.
The source reveals that these girls aren't just performers, they are composers.
They create their own music.
And this is where the strategy goes from just interesting to completely distinct.
It really is.
Can you explain that distinction? Because I feel like we hear about idols writing songs more and more now.
We do, but it's usually later in their careers. Or maybe they write a rap verse here and there. For a trainee group, a group that hasn't even debuted, to be branded from the start as composers is very, very specific.
It just flips the script on the whole idol stereotype, doesn't it?
Completely. The traditional model, especially for girl groups, has been the company hires producers, buys demos, hires stylists, and the girls are the vessels for that vision.
Which works. I mean, I love plenty of groups that operate that way.
It works beautifully for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But Onesie isn't just aiming for entertainment. The source title is Artistry and Ambition. By having the members compose, you're removing the middleman between the artist's heart and the audience's ears.
Oh, and this connects back to the fresh faces thing again.
How so?
Well, if you have these fresh faces whose investment is their dreams, and they're the ones writing the songs.
Then the songs are going to be about those dreams.
Yes. It's not some 40-year-old producer in an office guessing what a teenage girl feels like. It's the actual girls telling us.
That is a brilliant observation. It closes the loop. It makes it all authentic. The freshness isn't just a marketing tag. It becomes the lyrical content, the actual sound.
And it makes them self-sufficient, too.
That's the long-term growth part the source mentions. If you rely on buying songs, you are at the mercy of trends.
Right. You have to go find new songs and hope they fit.
But if you are the composer, you evolve naturally. You own your sound. You aren't chasing the wave. You are the water. Look at SB19 again. Pablo's the main composer. Their sound evolves because he evolves.
That's so true.
Onesie is clearly trying to replicate that model of self-contained artistry.
It's just so empowering, especially for a girl group. I feel like the industry is often scared to let female rookies take the creative wheel.
It implies a huge level of trust, and it shows Onesie is looking for artists with a capital A, not just idols.
Okay, so let's put this all together. We have 1, complete unknowns with zero baggage.
2, a training standard that demands perfection.
And 3, creative control and songwriting from day one.
It's a trifecta that points to a really, really positive future. The source says this is enough to get excited, and I have to agree. It's a strategy that prioritizes substance over hype.
Substance over hype, that's the key phrase right there. We live in a world of quick hype, TikTok sounds, viral moments that last 24 hours. This feels slower, heavier.
It feels permanent, like they're building a foundation, not just a billboard.
Which brings me to a specific group of people we need to talk to.
The fandom.
Yes. We've mentioned SB19 a lot because the source does. And we all know that the SB19 fandom, ATN, is, well, they're
arguably the most passionate protective fandom in the region.
Yeah.
They have high standards because their idols have high standards.
So I want to ask a question, and I'm asking this directly to you if you're listening and you're part of that ecosystem. The source material basically poses this challenge, so we're asking it too. Are you as excited to see these ladies as we are here on the deep dive?
It's a genuine question, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're a fan who values everything SB19 brought to the table, the grit, the self-composition, the authenticity, then theoretically, this girl group is being built in that exact same image.
Right. It's easy to be protective and say, nobody can touch my favorites. But Onesie seems to be offering a new generation that honors those same values.
That's what I was saying. So the question is, are you ready to open your heart to a new set of fresh faces who are trying to walk that same really difficult path?
I really, really hope the answer is yes. Because if that 8TN energy gets behind a group that is also writing their own music and training this hard,
that would be unstoppable.
A massive catalyst. And honestly, from everything we've talked about today, these girls seem to deserve that chance. I'm personally so excited. I love the mystery. I love the confidence of the fresh faces idea. And I love that they're writers.
It's the writers part that has me the most intrigued. I just want to hear what they have to say.
Me too. So let's wrap this up with one final thought on the bigger picture. We've unpacked the source, we see the vision, but what does this mean for everyone else in the industry?
Well, just think about that bar we discussed.
The SB19 caliber.
Right. If Onesie actually pulls this off, if they launch a rookie girl group that is performance perfect and writes their own hits from day one.
That becomes the new standard.
Exactly. It forces every other agency to look at their trainees and say, okay, she's pretty and she can dance, but can she write a bridge? Can she produce a demo?
It shifts the entire recruitment process from just finding looks to finding voices.
And that would be a beautiful shift for the music industry. It would bring us all back to the art.
Artistry and ambition. It's a good title. And it sounds like a very good future. We will be watching Onesie very, very closely. Thanks for diving in with us today.
Always a pleasure.
Stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next one.